such a huge honor to be standing up here in front of you all today, considering I've looked up to and admired so many of you since the beginning of my journey. When I say that my inner mean girl came out once I got the phone call to be a presenter on this stage, I truly mean it. I had a hard time finding my worthiness factor to be up here presenting my heart to you. And then they told me what my topic was, and I said, Doug, seriously, Bonnie Engel just crushed Instagram at Summit, right? Hard topic to follow. So, I am very eager to share with you how I used Instagram as my accountability partner to get to where I am today. And I hope that by me sharing what has worked well for me, you can take away one thing to implement to your business, or take away these facts that worked for me and pass them on to your newer coaches. I want to share a little bit about my journey as a coach before we dive into the meat of things. I started Instagram, you guys, with 400 followers. I used my account for teaching projects, workout gym selfies, or my social life, not knowing what a hashtag was or why people even used it. I grew up in the 80s, and that was a pound sign, so, you know. I graduated with an elementary education degree where we practiced handwriting and art projects. I had no background in business or marketing or social media or anything. So how did I go from 400 to 65,000 followers on Instagram in less than 3 years? It comes down to those buzzwords that we hear so often: consistency, vulnerability, and being authentic. After turning my coach down 3 times, sorry Jamie, love you, and finally biting the bullet to become a coach myself, I promised myself that I was going to give it everything that I had, regardless of what was going to happen next. I used my Instagram as my accountability partner, posting everything every single day. And that's what changed my emotional, my physical, and my mental journey tremendously. After feeling as amazing as I did, obtaining my results after the 21-Day Fix Extreme, I knew I had to tell my family and friends how amazing these programs were. Then I was overjoyed knowing and figuring out that I could share my story on Instagram out loud and help as many people as I could. I became so infectious with just bleeding Beachbody Blue because I knew that I had the tools that I could provide to everybody and anybody. That's in the US, the UK, or Canada. If I didn't know how to do something, I figured it out. And if I didn't know why something was the way it was, I researched it until I figured it out. I also had an incredible upline, so you guys know who you are. Thank you. I took diligent notes and I implemented what I was learning every single day, little by little. I used what was working and I scrapped what wasn't. Rinse and repeat. I implemented what was feeling right for me, and I stuck with that. I stayed in my lane, but I admired and observed those coaches who were being successful in the business. Since I was such an avid Googler and YouTube watcher, I immediately figured out how contradicting some videos could be that our newer coaches were watching. One video would tell me to do something this way, and another video would tell me to do something completely different. That was such a great learning experience for me because when I became a leader, instead of just telling my coaches to Google it, I made sure to create the content that I knew worked well for me and that could work well for them. I'd go live, I'd create resources, anything that my coaches could use that I knew was beneficial for my journey, I made sure to replicate. The algorithms are always changing. We know that. Social media is constantly changing, so we need to change with it. Getting frustrated or irritated or whatever about how often this is happening doesn't help our business grow. So instead of feeling frustrated with it, learn and adapt, And then be that voice of positivity to help your coaches feel positive about the change as well. One thing that I was getting really, really frustrated with was the fact that I was reading all these things about what my social media should look like if I was going to consider myself an influencer and work on branding myself. I started to change the way that my social media was going because I thought that's what it took to be successful. But in fact, that started to suck the joy out of why I was sharing my story in the first place. And I came to a breaking point and getting so overwhelmed that I almost quit. So I took a step back and I went back to the basics. And I said, what was bringing me joy from the beginning? I wanted to be that girl next door that my followers could relate to every single day. So why was I trying to be something that I wasn't? So instead of worrying about the perfect photo with the perfect post and the perfect filter with the perfect caption, I gave it up. And I said, you know what? I want to just be me. I want to post that photo that my followers can look at and realize that I suffer with anxiety, I suffer with acne, I don't have it all together. I wanted them to feel like they could come to me and ask me everything and anything that was on their heart or mind. That is what I felt brought me the most joy, and so that was my purpose, so I stuck to that. When people ask me how I grew such a large following, I truly wish that I could give them a straightforward answer. But I know the consistent actions that I took each day, and so I'm just going to share that with you today. I used the 4 vital behaviors as my consistent everyday posts. Have you ever had a coach come to you and say, I don't know what to post today, or I don't have anything to talk about? My response back to them is, post the 4 vital behaviors. Did you get your workout in today? How has personal development influenced your mindset? What about your meal plan? How does that change your eating habits? Who can you recognize today? And then what post can you make that will make someone smile? That's what it's all about. I implemented the book that changed my world, and I know that you probably have all read this book as well, but Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod game changed everything for me. I had a very tight schedule, and so when I began coaching, I struggled to find the time. I was a newlywed at the time, a new homeowner to a fixer-upper home, a puppy mom, so those of you with puppies know, and I was a tutor, a photographer. I wore many, many hats. And so when I became a coach, people asked me, Amy, what are you doing? Why would you add one more thing to your life? So the only time that I could find time was in my morning. So implementing those savers that Hal Elrod taught us about, I woke up at 3:45 every single morning. No, I was not a morning person, but that was the only chunk of time in my schedule that I knew I could effectively run a business that I wanted to become successful at. So I got rid of my excuses, set that alarm, drank my Energize, crushed my power hours, and got that workout in. I had a 2-hour commute to my teaching job every single day, and so I used those 2 hours to no longer listen to talk radio, but to listen to my PD. That was game-changing because my mindset was one of the things that needed to be changed the most. I stuck to my meal plan, I got results, I shared my story out loud every single day, and I structured my posts around my life. Now, contradictory to what you may have heard from social media experts, I posted 6 to 7 times a day. And I thought the more that people saw my face and the more people saw my name, the more that they would remember who I was. And it worked for me, so I stuck with that. With every single post, I ask myself, is this credible? Is this trusting? Is it valuable? Is it consistent? Is it real and is it honest? But my 2 favorite, is it fun and is it going to make someone smile? Because again, if you're not feeling the joy, then what is this all about? So as I said, multiple postings a day are and were my momentum driver. I posted 6 times a day regardless of if I've already, or I posted every single day regardless if I've already posted 6 times a day, and posted every single part of me, including my other brands outside of health and fitness. I structured my posts around certain times of the day. So again, I was waking up super early. I was now attracting a whole new crowd of people to my page from different time zones that I wasn't attracting before. Making sure that we look at our profile, and I ask my new coaches to do this regularly. If we took out health, wellness, coaching, Beachbody from your feed, what would be left? So you need to develop those brands that people can relate to because they want to get to know who you are, not what you represent or what company you work for. Use those Instagram insights to help you decide, when am I getting the most engagement? When are most people onto my feed? When could I maybe improve on what time of the day or what day of the week so that I can get new people on over to my feed? Shalene is my idol, and honestly, her bubbly, upbeat personality was exactly what I needed on my drive to work every single morning. When I listened to her podcast about the 5-3-1 method, it completely changed my business. My reach outs were the part that I had a hard time with. And so if you're not familiar with the 5-3-1 method, it basically means finding someone through a similar hashtag, going to their profile, liking 5 of their photos, commenting nice, genuine, real comments on 3 of those photos, and then following them. Make sure you track that so then a day later, you can follow up with them. The idea behind this is they just got 9 notifications from Happy, Healthy, Humble, and hopefully they're going to come on over to my feed and see what I'm all about and like what they see. Not only have I built a relationship already by investing time into their profile, but now I can have a conversation and hopefully form a relationship. I did this 50 times a day when I was building to Diamond, and I truly believe that that was the momentum driver in gaining new followers to my page. Now, honestly, you guys, I had a hard time with trying to be perfect and trying to be, everything that I thought I should be. But we have to realize that people don't want perfect. They want to feel inspired. And so that's what I reminded myself of every single day. I want to touch on Instagram stories and giveaways really quickly here because these were game-changing for my business and for my Instagram following. And basically, it was awesome when Snapchat kind of went away and we were able to then incorporate that into our Instagram account because it was all in one place, made it so much easier. And I honestly love using my Instagram stories as a movie trailer. What can people come and see for 15 seconds that wants to come and see again and again and again? They also get to see my goofy personality, hear my Minnesotan O's that they wouldn't normally get from a photo. I don't usually use my Instagram stories to talk about Beachbody often because I don't want them to know what to expect. I do incorporate what I do and what brings me joy, but not in a way where I want them to hear all about challenge packs. I use my Instagram polls and questions at least once a week. Again, keeping them light and fun and silly because that's what brings me joy. I give them what they like to see, and I can tell that because of how many people are clicking and how many people are just kind of passing through, and then the numbers dwindle, and you're like, okay, talked a little too much about that. Mm-hmm. I tell my story over and over and over again because you guys are getting new people onto your page every single day. And so if you don't tell your story or if you don't show them your personality, how are they going to fall in love with you? Stop overthinking it. Stop worrying about the perfect lighting or the perfect filter. They want to be able to relate to you. Be that girl next door that can help them lose 5 pounds. Get off of their cholesterol medication, and relate to you on a level that they don't have anywhere else in their life. Giveaways were game-changing for my business. You have to think about the fact that when people love following you, they're gonna love what you love. So when you're giving something away that you love, you better believe they're gonna get excited. Having them tag a girlfriend or 3 girlfriends and then commenting on your post is going to boost that algorithm and work in your favor. You're gonna get more eyes on over to your page, and of course that company is gonna maybe realize it too. Ever since the beginning, I would reach out to companies, even when I had a low following, and ask if they were interested in partnering up because I loved their products. Some said yes, some said no, some didn't respond. It didn't matter, I still tagged their companies in all my posts. So anytime you're drinking a LaCroix or eating Halo Top, I would tag those companies, and you better believe I got some incentives back from them. Or if they posted my photo and tagged me in that post, then all of their fans would come over to my feed and more eyes would then see what I was all about. Bonnie Engel nailed it on the head at Summit. We are influencers. So why not share what we love more often with the people who love us? This is the part of my presentation that I was most excited about. I 110% love helping my coaches get started. Again, the amazing man by the name of Jeff Hill once said, "It's the start that stops most people." So simple, but so detrimental. So many coaches have potential, but they stop, they quit because they get so overwhelmed. So help them get started. Form those groups. Encourage them to use their existing profiles. Teach them how simple it is to just start sharing their stories and using their Instagram accounts as their accountability partner. Then we talk about the color wheel and what we want to represent and who we want to attract on over to our page. And we develop our hashtags through that. And then we take the baby steps into posting, and I encourage them to post the 4 vital behaviors onto their page, including one fun, quirky thing about them so people can get to know who they are. And then we talk about personal branding and stock photos on those days that you just feel super stuck or you have 103-degree fever and you don't feel like getting out of bed. We form commenting squads so that their algorithms can start to work in their favors and their momentum and their, confidence levels can start to grow. I help them review their profiles once a week in our new coach mentorship groups. And we discuss some of the things that are going really well and build up that confidence level. We use our Instagram insights to help us track when, where, what, how. Everything is there for you. You just have to dig a little deeper and do the work. And then I do my recommended trainings where I create my live videos or content to help them grow. That's the most important part. You are their leader. You need to believe in them and you need to help them get started. So, this week actually marks my 3-year mark with Beachbody, which means I have posted for roughly 1,095 days. I have never missed a single day of posting and still post to this day about 6-7 times. And I still use my Instagram account as my accountability partner because that's what brings me joy. And so I want to ask you a question. Are you feeling joy in your posting every single day? If the answer is yes, congratulations. That's what it's all about. If you're feeling frustrated or irritated or confused or just don't know, then you need to take a step back and go back to the basics. What brings you the most joy? Once you figure out the answer to that question, then start doing more of that. We have the capability to reach so many people. So stop fishing with a line and a hook and start casting your net to help as many people as possible. That's what we represent as a Beachbody coach. So Jeff Hill asked us to think of a word, and you've heard lots of great ones. Thousands came to my mind. But my biggest one that stuck with me, that I presented actually at New Leadership this last January, was purpose. I remember waking up one morning, getting ready for my kindergarten teaching job, sobbing, because I knew that's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Then when Beachbody found me, when my coach found me, it gave me this new light, this new joy. My mindset shifted and it gave me purpose. I know what I was meant to do on this earth because of Beachbody. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.